All right, welcome back. This is going to get a little bit interesting because I'm just going to kind of spitball here. Let's say that at the end of the day, your business, my business, runs off $3.50 a foot. Let's say all we do is roof flats, and we build everything around that. This is all hypothetical to get to a profit number in order to get to a goal number. I hope you're following me here. If you're not following me, go watch the last podcast episode. $3.50. That includes everything that you're going to spend money on. Your materials. Again, this is hypothetical. I don't know exactly what that number is for you. Your materials, your labor, your truck, your trailer, or your van, if that's what you're running. Your tires, your gas, your oil, your random breakdown stuff, your random tear-up stuff, your customer, something you tore up at their house. You scratched the gutter and you had to repaint it. I don't know if I said labor already, but that's one of the biggest ones. Your marketing expenses, your computer programs like Jobber or whatever CRM you're running. All those things, your safety things that you've purchased. The cougar paws, the steep gear shorts, and gloves, and goat ladder, and ropes, whatever you have. Let's say that everything costs you $3.50 a foot to run your business. Now let's go to our closing rates. And how many houses do you want to do? Or how much money do you want to make? You have to work it back from there. Simply, let's say that you charge $6 a foot. So what does that mean that your profit per foot is going to be? $2.50 a foot. Your first year, let's say you want to put 50 grand in your pocket. What is 50 grand? Divided by $2.50 a foot. 50 grand divided by $2.50 a foot is 20,000 feet. Okay? Let's say your average job is 200 feet. That means you need to do 100 houses if you want to put $50,000 in your pocket. If all those other numbers are right, okay? I want you to understand that you need to run through these things for your business. You need to know your numbers. You need to know how to get to your goals. In order to know how to get to your goals, then you need to know your numbers. Now, if your goals are not financial related, then we just throw all that stuff out of the window. If you just want to do 50 houses and you're going to shotgun it and say, I'm going to charge $5 a foot, and you make what you make, that's fine. I mean, I don't want to tell you what goals to set for yourself. Hey, a goal of mine is to get more people signed up, and we want to help more people with your lighting materials. Go to lawnandlightpro.com. Click register. We'll get you signed up for wholesale pricing. That's the only ad you'll hear on this. Thank you for hearing me. So 100 houses. Let's go from there. Well, how do I get 100 houses? Well, let's say all your other systems are good and you can close pretty good and you've got your sales processes down good. If you're closing 50%, which is probably going to be pretty typical if you have good processes and you can talk to people, right? Well, that means that you need to give 200 bids. Well, if I want to give 200 bids, how many phone calls do I need to get? Well, that's also about 50%. If somebody calls you or sends you or fills out a form, your form, then it's usually about 50%. So we double. 400. So if you want to do 100 houses in your first season, then you need about 400 people to reach out to you. Now, there's always the first season. If you have a good circle in your community, it's easier in like a small tight-knit community where people might know you already to get a jump on that with family and friends of family in that circle where you might get 30 or 40 to jump off your business, and then you have to worry about getting the other 60. But if you don't, you really want to look at these numbers and think, okay, how do I get 400 phone calls or 400 form submissions? My mid-tier goal is to get 115 new jobs. That's not including the old jobs that we've had. This is 115 new jobs. But that's not just based on jobs, it's based on revenue too, and just like what I broke down to you. So 115 new jobs at the same average ticket rate as last year, or if we can bump our average ticket rate up to say $1,400 instead of $1,125 or $1,300 instead of $1,125, it means that we maybe raised our prices a little bit, or we go after specific clientele with our marketing to try to get those higher ticket items. Does that make sense? Another thing that you'll need to think about is in-person bids versus remote bids. There's a certain tolerance that you have to understand for your area. And there's different ways to sell this, but I've never seen remote bids close like in-person bids. I forgot to pull up our stats before I got on here, but I think that our closing last year, our total closing rates were probably 60% for in-person bids over the season. Our closing rate for remote bids, 25%, maybe 30%, depending on how you present it. How much communication do you have over the phone where you can actually build a little bit of a level of trust? So let's say it's 25%, right? And you're trying to hit 100 houses, but you're going to do all remote bids. It may not be the numbers for your area. Your market may close that better. We're just using this as an example. To get 100 houses, now you have to qualify, or you have to get 800 phone calls or form submissions. Because let's say that 8 goes down to 4, so you get to actually give half of those people bids, and then 4 goes down to 100. 400 goes down to 100 because it's 25%. Does that make sense? If you have no clue what I'm talking about, put in the comments. Shane, you went off the rails on this one. But if you understand and you have any other questions regarding this, these numbers, the 50% closing, is what I've seen over the past 12 years of doing this, averaging 50 to 60%. If you have a good salesman, you're going to average 50 to 60%. If you have a terrible salesman, or if your price is super high, if you're charging $10 a foot in a market that averages $6 or $7 a foot, and your closing rate is only 30%, I mean, that's pretty stomachable, right? Because your margin's so much higher, you're doing less work and making more money. So that's okay if that's how you want to run your business. Totally okay. Less work, more money, sign me up. But people that are doing that are typically the companies that have been around for a while and that are perceived as the best in the industry. Or when somebody looks up Christmas lights on Google, Christmas light installers in my area, and they're the first one that pops up, and they've got 700 reviews, and they're at a 4.9 or 5 star, they go out or they give a remote bid, and they're charging that 10 or 12 bucks a foot. That's why they're getting it. And obviously, you're probably not there yet. I'm not there in my new business. Literally today, just got my Google account set up. Didn't even have one last year. With the goal being, I want to have 100 reviews after this season. And we'll get it. I think we'll get it. No, we'll get it. I promise. So set goals, stick with them. Know what you're working with. Know how to get to those goals. Break down the numbers all the way down to the most minute of like, how many people do I have to talk to? A buddy of mine is an insurance salesman. And he sells more insurance than anybody in his company in this area, by far. How? Is he a great salesman? Honestly, not really. He loves people. But do you know what? Everywhere he goes, he talks about insurance. Everywhere. Anybody he talks to. So he just fills more people with his pipeline. I mean, his pipeline is slap dab full all the time, and his closing rates are not great, but he's got so many more people in his pipeline that he still closes more stuff than everybody else. So his numbers are different. He's got to put more people in his pipeline, and he's killing it in that matter. You can sell like that too. You can sell the relational way, like I do. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. What matters is that we as humans need something to strive after. We need something to feel like we're giving back to the world, like we're providing a service, like we're adding value. How are you adding value? Go out there and add some value. Hey, remember, love God, love others, and let your work reflect that, and your light. Let your work and your light. I've been workshopping changing that part at the end. Appreciate you being here.